If you go up north, you might expect to go to parks like Cedar Point, Kings Island, Great Adventure, Hershey, Dorney, and so on. But there's one chain that has some odd parks. Do you think you can guess what it is? Here are some hints. Number 1, their most popular park is on the water. 2, they just acquire old coasters. And 3, their other 2 parks are really neglected. If you guessed IB Parks, you would be correct. Owned by the man, the legend, Gene Staples, who managed to swoop all of the parks we will talk about out of bankruptcy by buying them and giving them new life. The parks consist of Indiana Beach, Clementon Park and Splash World, and Niagara Falls Amusement Park. If you've never heard of those last 2, I wouldn't blame you. They don't have much to offer in terms of rides, but we're going to tackle each of them and see what rides they actually have, starting with, well, I know you have probably heard of this one. Located in middle of nowhere, Indiana, it is the biggest of the trio with 7 whole roller coasters, and some of these are pretty decent, such as Steel Hog, an S&S El Loco coaster with one of the steepest drops in the world, and odded versions, Cornball Express, a long CCI wooden coaster, and Hoosier Hurricane, also an oddball CCI wooden coaster. Then you have some pretty okay rides that fill the rest of the park. Cyclone and Old Schwarzkopf added in 2022, All-American Triple Loop, another Schwarzkopf that was relocated from Mexico and can be a little janky, Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain, which is yet another wooden CCI coaster that you can sit in a cage for, and also has a vertical lift. But certainly not least, you have Tiger, the oldest of the park's Schwarzkopfs, which gives a pretty alright ride. The fun thing about this whole park is most of it is built like a pier on a lake, but right outside the park sits yet another Schwarzkopf shuttle loop in pieces that could maybe be built here in the future. This park, just like its twin Clementon, which we will talk about next, only has 2 coasters. First off, you have Serpent, a small Schwarzkopf coaster located in 2024 to here that features some turns and shallow drops. Then you have an actual good ride in Silver Comet. This is an 82-foot tall PTC wooden coaster, which seems to run surprisingly well. Arguably, the least known of the parks, as previously stated, it only has 2 coasters, but that is actually partially a lie, as the park's biggest and rare S&S wooden coaster has been standing but not operating since 2023. I hope it reopens at some point. But the only other coaster here that is open is Dragon Coaster, and it is just one of those Dragon Wagon models you can find literally everywhere else. So, is this park special? Not really. But will you still drive an hour out of your way to get here for 1 credit, or maybe 2 depending on if the other coaster's open? Probably. So, I bet you can all see these parks are very, very odd. But on the bright side, they all have water parks. But I hope you enjoyed this aneurysm of a video, and if you actually did, like it, please subscribe, because this is all I do, and I will see you next time.